Hi, I'm Chris from Airwindows, and we are doing another Forbidden Music, and we're going back to the Beatles well. Probably not that much I have to say about this one, because everything that I'm trying to say about it should be expressed in the metering. So I've always known I wanted to show this meter performance. It is Birthday by the Beatles, and this is clearly one of the tracks where they were trying to make a literal, all caps, hit record. Everything about this screams it wants to be a hit record. That's all it cares about. It's going to do everything it has to in order to be able to do that. Every moment of time, because you're going to be hearing the ContentID, of course. So you don't get to hear every moment of time. You get to hear like sub 1 second snippets that are happening every couple seconds or so. Every single time one happens, you will be hearing a hook or a riff or a lead vocal that's worth being on a hit record. There is no instant that is not full of hit recordness. And that's what shows up in the meter behavior, which is one of the primary things I'm trying to do with all of these, is I'm constantly going back to the original Airwindows Meter, complete with its little like hit record measurement numbers and stuff, or measurement letters rather. And it's making my case for me really well with this one, because what you're getting is this dense cloud of peaks that are always about as loud as they can get. And that's not always the case. Like in the mid-70s, like this week for the $10 and up patrons, I did a Eric Clapton track, Willie and the Hand Jive, off of 461 Ocean Boulevard. That is a fantastic sound, but it falls short of being, uber super hit record because it's too mellow and it's too sparse. In other words, not enough is happening in there. It's laid back, it's more relaxed. The whole album is very relaxed. And so there is not this onslaught of constant interesting events happening. Compare with this, Birthday by the Beatles off of the White Album. They're blasting away pretty much nonstop. It's an all-out assault of rock music on the hit parade with the intention of bursting through and essentially beating everybody else and getting that number one, which I don't know if they got the number one hit out of this one, but it acts like it is a number one hit. And the clouds of peaks and slew energy and zero crosses, and you can get the zero crosses to go lower than that, but this is the sound of bashing away as hard as conceivably possible. Like, this is a hard rock track. And where the peak energy sits, it's all right up in that top 6 dB of sound. You couldn't push this much harder with full-on loudination and making everything clip, which is probably what happened when Giles Martin did it over again. But you couldn't get this much louder by modernating it and loudinizing it and making it become disgusting and awful to listen to. It wouldn't be making it that much louder than this. And this is the original 1960s pressing off of Apple. I can show you the vinyl record. Maybe even I'm looking to see whether I can find the actual track. Hell yeah. So it's the first track on this side, which is also a classic like hit record number one single thing to do with a record, where if you had a hit, you probably wanted to put it as the first track, maybe the second if the first track started getting skippy. But here it is, one on the outside edge right there. Off of A1631890. It's a numbered version. And I'm going to apologize in advance for the fact that it's a little bit grungy, but this is in fact a copy of the White Album from back in the day. So it saw a lot of play and is not pristine. But you'll barely notice once it gets going because it rocks incredibly hard and is a heck of a noisy track. Again, like I said, you can't really make this that much louder by loudinating it. It's already that loud. It's just a question of how far you're going to push into clipping to do it, but it's not leaving a lot on the table for you. It's already balanced and voiced to just blow everybody away. So with no further ado, you don't get to hear all of this, sadly, but every little snippet that you hear will have a riff or a vocal or something like that. And just watch the way this thing shows up on the meters. You can mix stuff like this and get into the same kind of zone of the Beatles at their absolute peak if you want to voice things this way. It won't leave much on the table as far as being loud enough. Let's just say that. Here's Birthday by the Beatles.